Hello guys, welcome back, konnichiwa, herzlich willkommen. So my friends, update here on BBAI, Big Bear AI Incorporated. Yeah guys, we had yesterday here a very nice pump of almost 20%, 19% here. $3.54 is the actual closing price, and I am not surprised by that guys, because I already showed here in my previous video the liquidity zones where the buying algos are waiting, and this liquidity zone is now confirmed. So I will give you here my brand new update based on the chart, show you all the price levels here to the up and the downside. Everything what I say here is not financial advice. This is my opinion based on the chart. Yeah guys, when you see a chart like that, there is a question, yeah, for everybody who is not familiar with chart patterns or with trading. So where to buy a stock like that? So what is of course absolute visible here is that BBAI has a very nice squeeze potential. I would even say short squeeze potential. So this move, for example, here was in total 257%. Then we had this massive sell-off here, and since then, you can see since here the bottom was in December 2022. BBAI is always squeezing here, and we built higher lows. So there is at least something like a very strong liquidity zone where the buying algos are waiting, and you can make here some nice profits. This squeeze, for example, was 1000%. So you make here a 10x of your money, and we can see that we are in the middle here of a squeeze again. So where are the price levels, guys? I'll show you that here, of course. I prepared everything in the chart, and if you have already seen my previous videos, nothing of course changed since. What I'm doing here on my channel, guys, I of course give my best to educate you in trading. That's why we will talk here about several chart patterns, but I always try to predict short squeezes. The market, guys, is bullish again. Yeah, we had a bearish month. It was very, very critical for the US stock market. We could see a potential crash, and I said that already in my previous S&P 500 video that now, yeah, I just released that video yesterday. The market bottom is in, and we will see here a lot of squeezes, guys, in the next weeks and months. Yesterday we had here 3 massive squeezes. I also released a video on that. But what I do, guys, is to predict short squeezes. So last week we also had here 4 big squeezes in 1 week, everything between 100 and 322%. So when I say I try to predict short squeezes, what I'm doing is that I post here videos or screenshots on Patreon for tickers where I expect the squeeze to happen. And of course I let you know, this is now here just a snapshot. This is not the real screenshot from Patreon, where I show you always the buy-in levels and the exit levels. Yeah, there is never a guarantee, but this is just one example where we had here on the dot, guys, a 322% squeeze. That was last week. Last week on Friday we closed with a 158% squeeze. I posted this ticker here on that day. The yellow line marks the date. We had here the perfect retracement on the Fibonacci level and then started to squeeze 158%. So I tried to do the same here for BBAI, but if you also want to see my other short squeeze stocks, then you can join us here on Patreon. The full package membership is the most popular membership which I have. I also show you here not only my short squeeze stocks, also my trading tutorials, member FAQ section. So for beginners, you get here also a lot of content, but not only for beginners, it's also for advanced traders. The link is patreon.com/blackbelttrader and also available here in the video description. So guys, let's now talk about the price levels here for BBAI. I enable my drawings. Nothing changed, and I can say from the beginning that the buying liquidity zone is confirmed, or let's call it the algo demand zone. So what is the algo demand zone, guys? This is where usually the market makers accumulate their positions. Yeah, they always get the lowest possible price before you see the next squeeze run up. Sorry for the background noise, guys. Here some kids playing in front of my office. You can see what I mean is that the market makers, yeah, make these kind of squeezes, then they drop the price. Here was a post squeeze, they drop the price, and there's always a zone where they start to accumulate. So the strongest zone, yeah, when we see the overall price action here from the last 2 years for BBAI, then the strongest demand zone is between $1.38 and $1.14. So whenever you can get a price in this zone, not financial advice, but this is very, very good buy-in price. However, for the actual squeeze, since we know that BBAI is creating here higher lows, the actual algo demand zone here for this squeeze, yeah, because this squeeze is still active, guys, this is here a very strong pullback. I expect a post squeeze to happen, and the actual algo demand zone is now here between $2.90 and $1.90. And why did I say in the beginning that we have a confirmation? You can see we came down to this zone, the yellow box here. We touched it once, yeah, small reaction, touched it twice, and we had here 2 gap downs. So you can see one open gap was here waiting, or is still waiting, at $4.10, and one open gap was here at $3.39. Here is the open gap, guys. These candles are not touching each other, and then you can see, boom, now we started here to pump, and in total, since I released my video, we have now here a price pump from 25% in total. This is of course Mickey Mouse, guys. This is not a short squeeze, but that just confirms that the algos are still waiting here, because when we zoom out in the daily chart, we never had any kind of similar pumps since the peak was in here in 13th of February 2025. So that's how you can spot and identify liquidity zones, and this is a very helpful tool for every trader, guys. When you know where the buying algos are waiting, this is also what you have to know, or you know how to trade these stocks. So let's talk about the worst case, guys. What I don't like with the price action yesterday is that this ticker started to squeeze and we have a gap up here. So that means we left an open gap at $2.99, and usually, guys, that the gap, these gaps, these down gaps get filled is about 90%. So no matter if BBAI continues to squeeze today, it looks good, to be honest, here in the 4 hours chart. If we find support here, what I want to see is that we create higher highs. So you can see we had a pump here in the pre and after market, yeah, and the price was $3.78 before we had the sell-off. So this time, for this squeeze, we want to see a price over $3.78. As I said, in a best case scenario, we come back here and close the open gap and don't see rejection there. I think the next price goal for BBAI is $4.11. However, we have this gap up, so that means if we close this gap here, even if we squeeze higher, don't forget, guys, sooner or later BBAI has to come back to $2.99. Yeah, this is just a simple trading rule, and it has to happen. So for a squeeze, for a post-squeeze scenario, we can make a quick check what I expect to happen. So we have here, if we really see here a bigger squeeze, bigger than a post squeeze, then I have here a price goal of $8.63, guys. We have some open business here in the chart, which is still not fulfilled. So there is the second algo demand zone, the support zone, or I call it the short squeeze support zone, is between $4 and $5.16. What does that mean, guys? The higher the price gets, so let's just assume we continue to squeeze today. When we close here over $5.16, when we can close with a lot of volume and the green candle here over $5.16, that could bring here the next squeeze trigger, the next pump, and then the price goal here, the first price goal for BBAI is $8.63, guys. Yeah, we have of course higher price goals. We could even see here bigger short squeezes. Yeah, this is by the way not the all-time high, but compared to the move, you know, when this ticker started to trade, this is here the highest high which we ever had since the sell-off here. And that means, guys, that we have here an algo short squeeze zone $10.52. So whenever BBAI can break $10.52, this is the moment where I think we could even see new all-time highs. But for now, we just concentrate, or at least I'm doing that. You have to make your own due diligence and decision, but I'm focusing here on the post squeeze, and that would just make sense that we squeeze back here to $5.16, somewhere here in this area. Because when we zoom out, and I will disable for a second here the indicators, it looks a little bit, guys, like a weird head and shoulders pattern. We often have these kind of patterns here. So you can see here's the shoulder, then we have here the head, and that means we should see here a second shoulder, and then maybe we coming even lower and then see the major short squeeze for BBAI. Don't has to happen like that, but it looks a little bit like this ticker is creating here something like a head and shoulder pattern. You can see that here, shoulder, head, maybe here the second shoulder, and so on. But this is not my trading style, guys. Yeah, I just let you know here the price levels based on the chart. Guys, if you want to copy here the price goals for BBAI, I also show you the open gap, $4.11. Keep that in mind. Everything here between $4 and $5.16 is not yet a short squeeze. This is just an algo pump where we confirm the previous support price levels. So if you want to copy here the price levels from my chart, this is everything based on TradingView. This is the chart tool what I use for all my videos and all my trades. And if you also want to get that program, guys, you can here use my $15 discount link on the premium tier. This is what I recommend for TradingView, and this special $15 discount link is available in the video description. My friends, that was a quick and dirty update for BBAI. I hope that was helpful. If you don't want to miss any updates, please hit the like and subscribe button right now. I thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your support, and see you in the next video. Arigato gozaimasu, vielen Dank, alles Gute und bis zum nächsten Video. Take care. Bye bye, guys.